King Cobra.
Welcome to another episode of the Urban Retrospect. I'll be hosting this thing. I'm your boy, ATL3. And we just want to thank you all for coming because this episode is going to be special. It's going to be delicious. Yeah. It's going to be non-allergenic. You know what I mean? It's going to be awesome. But before we get started and get into it, and I introduce you to our guests, let's throw it around to the fellas. Fellas, who's on the horn? Who that down there with them glasses on? That boy clean. Who that?
Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Greg Jones, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm glad to be in the right time frame, in the right time zone. So I'll let you. Thank you.
Right. All right. Right time zone, right mind frame. I hear you, G. All right, let's go to another brother with some glasses on. Look extra smart. That's the Jonesy. Tell him who you are, Mr. Jones.
Jones.
Good evening. I'm Scott Jones out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, right outside of Nashville. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Brother Jones. Let me go to another J. Let me go to Mr. James. How you doing, Mr. James?
I'm doing well. Ramsey James, representing Tennessee State University. Some fellow alumni on the call tonight, on the show today. So just glad to be here.
All right. Let's go to another fellow alumni. P, tell them who you are.
It's your boy, Simply P, back in the building, representing the Panama City, Florida, where it hit 100 degrees. I'm glad to be here with y'all tonight so I can chill out.
Hey, chill out. I hear you. Ain't nothing cooler than blue ice. Tell them about it. Where my boy Blue at? Tell them about it, Mr. Moore.
Yeah, it's your boy Big West. I'm excited for this episode because I have a fellow TSU alum. Go Big Blue.
Mm-mm.
That's right. Appreciate it. And my H right there in case y'all don't know. What's up, Cloud?
What up, three, man? It's Ken Cloud out of Cleveland, Ohio, where it was 95 degrees today.
What?
As it gets hot in Cleveland, we get it all. It just ain't gonna be that hot for that long.
Right. I got
Going
you.
into the 50s on Saturday.
Right. Wearing a jacket.
Cleveland, Ohio, 95. Stay warm more than 3 days. Hell, about to freeze warm over. You know? But all right. So anyway, moving on. Let me introduce you to a guest that's near and dear to my heart. She's a critically acclaimed entrepreneur to start. She's moved on and maturated herself. She's got not only a bachelor's, but a master's in supply chain management and business administration. She's not only that, she's dynamic in everything that she does and maybe a little allergic to everything she eats. Let's give it up to the one and only Miss Nubian Simmons of the Pink Baker. Let's give it up.
Hey.
Yeah, Nubian.
Blue.
TSU.
Thank you for having me. I'm calling in from Milwaukee and it was 97 today. So, and it's about to rain and it's probably going to be like 50 tomorrow.
I tell you, it's just you Yankees never cease to amaze.
Exactly.
I just want to thank y'all for having me on. I'll just say that first before we,
Yes, ma'am. Always.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, and speaking of joining, Scott, tell them where they can join us at. Where can they see us at, Scott? For all the fans out there.
Of course, where you're looking already, right here on YouTube, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Of course, that like if you like the video and that bell for further notifications. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at the Urban Retrospect. You can also catch us on Twitter at Retrospect1619. If you want us to review your products, send us an email at theurbanretrospect@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to catch everything, a little bit more about the fellas, the products and services that we reviewed and more, go to www.theurbanretrospect.com. Thank you.
Message. Hey, we gotta get Scott like a cash page or something, so some people can tip him. You know what I mean? That was perfect. You know what I mean?
gonna
Give him the
get
cash
the
I
app too.
appreciate it.
He getting your OnlyFans, Scott.
Hey, yeah, go get your OnlyFans page. Hey, it's real. Hey, so let's get right down to this thing, man. Wes, you
Yeah.
got some questions you want to get to? Those movements. Let's get a soft one to start. Let's get a very easy one.
Wow. All right, Nubian. I'm gonna be very, very, blunt with you.
Okay.
I'm Black, 44 years old, from the South, Alabama. What is a vegan? You got the people who don't eat pork. I mean, everybody have a definition. Like I don't eat meat, but I eat fish. I'm a pescatarian. What is the definition of this? I'm like, they eat a cake, but the eggs are in the cake. So is that really vegetarian? I'm just like,
Pescatarian.
what is vegan?
That's religion.
Yeah. So vegan is a person that does not eat any food that's derived from an animal. So like how you were asking about if there's eggs in a cake, if someone eats that, they could be potentially vegetarian. They are not vegan. So again, you don't eat any animal products at all, anything derived from an animal at all. So yeah, that's the most simplest way to explain what a vegan is. There's levels to vegan too. There's even some vegans that even though like bees are not animals, they will not eat honey because they feel like, the source that they got it from had eyes and, had a body and had a heart, right? So they won't even eat from that. So, but just a baseline vegan is someone that does not eat anything that derives from any type of animal product.
Right. Is this just because of a love of animals? Is this from a love of animals? Where does this really truly come from? Because, and if that's the case, do they believe in foreign luxury cars? Like they can't drive certain cars because of the kind of seats they have? Like
Right.
Seat,
These are good questions. Not only the seats, but also like your shoes or handbags, right? So I think for each person that decides to go vegan, it's their own personal choice. I know for me, because I think it has something to do with my food allergies. Every time I ate meat, it really, like my digestion was off. Like it would hurt really, really bad. And so I don't get that same cramping or the same pain when I eat apples or watermelon or quinoa. But anytime I ate that, you all will not be able to relate to this, but because we are close and family, I'll just be blunt. It felt like period cramps. And so like, that's like the worst pain ever. So to have experienced that, it was like, whoa, like what's going on with that? Even if I took digestive enzymes, I would still feel that. So it was like, for me, I'm very in tune with my body. So if I don't want to feel pain, I'm just gonna eliminate whatever the food was that caused that issue. And so again, for me, it was all types of animal products. And I was allergic to milk anyway, so that's all dairy. But so yeah.
So next question. So what really got you into baking? Like what got you started to bake? Because usually you don't really see a lot of people doing that no more since they can get their baked goods from Kroger and stuff. So
yeah. I never wanted to be a baker. I had no culinary experience. Like I could cook, but I could not bake. Baking's totally different from cooking. And so honestly, I got inspiration from God, and I thought he was talking to the wrong person when he told me he wanted me to bake, because he was telling me to bake without the top allergens, which again, I thought it was like a joke, like you get, how you hear that inspiration and it's like, no, I don't think that message was for me, And so he kept on me about it. And so eventually I had to surrender. And it's fascinating what you can do when you never thought you'd be able to do anything like that. I formerly was a graphic designer, and I have like a science and engineering background. So I think that was the thing that like saved me, like to help me like rationalized, okay, I could actually do this, right? Because I looked at the baked goods as like engineering structures and, all the science and chemistry that went along with that. But yeah, I had no intention ever to be a baker at all. But what's really cool about the experience is I take I no longer bake anymore. Now we just do the mixes, but I would take the cakes and imagine that they were like my what is it called? My art board, like when I was designing, and I would design on the cakes. Like I'd be inspired by the stories of the people that have food allergies. And I would just go with, however my heart felt, let my heart lead the design. And so that's how I, was able to bake for people. But I never wanted to bake. Like that was not a goal. If you would have told me, 10 years ago, I'd be doing this, that I would not believe you at all. Because again, I could open a box mix, and that's probably why I went with mixes, because I could do that. You know what I mean? But to bake from scratch, like I wouldn't have thought you were talking to me. So the thing too about like design, and I don't know if any of you have ever got anything designed before, but your graphic artist should have asked you like a whole bunch of questions. And the reason for that is they're trying to pull out from you what you have in your head, and they have to internalize it and then again create something beautiful for you. So the more that I could learn about someone, the more beautiful something would turn out. And so again, these stories will touch your heart. I had twins that had never had a birthday cake before, and they were turning 5 years old. I've had brides that would not have been able to have their cake cutting ceremony at the wedding if it wasn't for our cakes, or children who, again, for the first birthday wouldn't be able to have a smash cake. Like it just touches you on levels that you probably don't even know that you have, And so even though I thought God was talking to the wrong person, he was actually talking to the right person, because he knew that by me hearing all that and with all the creativity that he let me experience or gain, from being a designer, that I'd be able to do right by all these people. So.
Gotcha. Hey, look, don't be running from that call. When you hear that call, you better pay attention and listen.
I tried to run though. I tried real hard to run. I tried to dodge it, and he just cornered me.
Oh no. We're gonna keep going. Go ahead.
So Nubian, I've got a question. I'll jump in. When did you know you wanted to take your business to, or take this calling of baking something without allergens into a business, and develop that business model around mixes, the marketing, which probably came natural to you, but when did you know you want to scale it to the level it is today?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I was, if you hear thunder, I'm sorry, like I was explaining to them where our storm has started. But when I started testing my products, I wanted to make sure that they weren't just good for people like me who have food allergies. I wanted to make sure it was good for everybody in the family. Because when you have the allergies and you're like the only person in your family, you have like special food, right? So you got like a special cookie, you got a special brownie, and pretty much what that special means is nasty. And so because I had the nasty cookies and the nasty brownies, my siblings wouldn't eat that stuff. They had the regular stuff, Hostess, Oreo, all that kind of stuff. And because I knew what that stuff tasted like, I felt like it was a punishment for me to be having to eat this food, right? And I wanted to go back to stuff that tasted good. And so once I finally got all my mixes together and my family gave me like the stamp of approval, because they know how I am, like it has to be like good. If the texture's off, like I'm not gonna eat it. If the taste is off, like I'm not gonna eat it. And so after I got their approval, we started to ask other people that had food allergies to taste it, and then their family members as well. And they were like, this tastes better than any allergen-free product we've ever tasted. You should sell it. And I'm like, I know nothing about the food industry. Again, the other calling, right? That he was like pushing on me. And they were like, no, you should figure it out because this tastes really good. People would pay for it. And so I started to do my research. Again, I'm coming from graphic design, not food industry. So I have to shift the way I'm thinking, learn a whole nother world and then try to, again, survive and make money at this. I think probably the hardest thing was coming up with the cost, because everything's all organic, non-GMO, gluten-free. We just became certified. So we're the first Black-owned certified gluten-free and top allergen-free manufacturing facility in the state of Wisconsin. But this stuff costs a lot of money, right? These ingredients are very expensive because, again, for me, I didn't say this part either, I respond very negatively to cross-contamination. So I'm allergic to wheat and I'm allergic to milk. And so I have to be careful even with suppliers, making sure like that they don't house any of the allergens that we say that we're free from. So that really limits the amount of suppliers that we can pull from. So again, it's more expensive, right? So the cost was scary to me. But as I was learning from mentors in the food industry, the cost of the food is the cost of the food, you know? And so you have to price according to, you know, to what the margin is for your market. And so I got over that sticker shock, you know, after, again, I knew that's just where it was, and got out there, and I wasn't sure how people were going to receive us because, again, I didn't have any experience in the food industry. And we started in 2017, that's when we actually started selling. So I started in 2014. And when I came up with the name, I knew I wanted to trademark it right away because it was very marketable. And so we federally own all our trademarks. We own the name, The Pink Bakery, and 3 of the mixes, the No Frowny Brownie for sure, because I knew when I heard that, I was like, I got to register because somebody would hear that and try to take that from us, you know, especially because we're Black. They'd be like, whatever, they're not protected. Let's just take it, right? So like, right. We got all that stuff protected. So, so 2014 was when I started that's when I incorporated, that's when I applied for our trademark. So I guess to answer your question, 2014 was when I was like, let me just go ahead and really solidify all this stuff.
Okay, so I think I have a good understanding of how you started or why you started the Pink Bakery, right? But are there other gluten-free facilities like yours? I know you just gave us a certification that you have. Are there other gluten-free type of manufacturers like yourself? If so, how is the Pink Bakery different from them?
So there are other gluten-free certified organizations. What makes us completely different is we are not only gluten-free, but we are top allergen-free. And so what that means is in our facility, we don't allow any eggs, milk, peanuts, shellfish, soy, tree nuts, sesame, wheat, sulfites, mustard, celery. I know it's somebody I'm forgetting, but we don't allow any of those things in our facility. And again, like I said, when it comes to our suppliers, we're also very careful with them as well to make sure that they don't have those in their facilities as well. So what a lot of people will do too, and you guys may have seen this on some packaging if you look at ingredients, something will say that it's gluten-free, but you turn the package over and it says it is processed in a facility that also processes wheat. Well, then that product is no longer gluten-free because, again, cross-contamination can happen. I don't know if any of you have ever seen, like, if someone opens a package of flour and, like, it plumes. Well, that happens in manufacturing facilities, too. So that flour is on the light fixtures, it's on the door handles, it's on all these things. And so you're telling me, someone who has a severe allergy, that I should trust your product is safe when I know it's in a facility like that? I'm not buying it. So I don't. So again, where we try to help people feel rest assured is that, again, our facility is completely dedicated. We are certified, and I respond negatively anyway. So there's definitely no way I'm going to have that stuff around me because I would respond as well.
So I have a follow-up actually to that. What does that mean? Because you can tell this is a labor of love, and this is something that means a lot to you. But to be that, it sounds like you're very hands-on and you're very specific in the products that you choose. What impact does that have to cost and production? You know, because that's one of the things we get into, and sometimes people say, well, why does it cost so much? guys, this might be a reason, but can you speak to how that plays into the cost of your product?
Yeah. So we're very, 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 very niched because we're very, 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 very safe. And so there aren't a lot of suppliers that will take the time like we do to, okay, so here's for instance of how deep I go, right? Because I go pretty deep. I call a supplier and ask about the crop rotation because I want to know if you are planting soybeans in the same, or soy in the same ground or dirt that you're planting, sesame or wheat, right? If it's in the ground, it could be in the plant, which then could be in the product, which then can be in what I purchase, right? And so you have to be careful too, like with wheat, they rotate oats. And so a lot of oats, they try to claim that they are gluten-free, but if they're not certified gluten-free, then again, you run the risk of there being some cross-contamination. So the fact that we eliminate so many producers because of the way that they grow foods just adds several layers of expense because these people are being very careful, whereas other people are just growing whatever and they're spraying whatever. Where the people that we buy from are trying to make sure that things are not sprayed, that they are grown a certain type of way that will, again, we won't have to worry about cross-contamination. So yes, it's more expensive, but again, it keeps you safe. And so to me, that's absolutely worth it. I'll pay whatever, even though that's just me personally, but I'll pay whatever so that I don't end up in the emergency room. Or for some people, they have passed from ingesting proteins that they're allergic to.
Man.
I got a follow-up question.
There's over 32 million Americans that have been diagnosed with food allergies, but there's way more Americans that don't even know that they have food allergies. And, people think about, oh, I just got a little rash or I got a little gas. You're having a reaction, but again, people don't explain that to us. And so when it happens, and for some people, you may not think that you're allergic to something and an allergy could come on at any time. It could be something that was sprayed on your food and you thinking that it's, wheat. Again, just as an example, you may not really be allergic to wheat. It may be something else that was sprayed on it, but it could come on at any time and you can grow out of your allergies at any time. So each person's physical body is totally different.
Before, who does the certification that said your product is gluten-free or this form is gluten-free? Is that the FDA?
No. So there are organizations whose sole purpose is to regulate gluten-free or allergen-free. And so the organization that we went through, the reason why we went through them is because not only do they certify gluten-free, but they also do top allergen-free. And our certifying body is called Menu Tri-Info. And they are the ones that certified us. But there's several places out here, several organizations that do gluten-free certification. But like I said, we wanted to go a whole nother level and also be certified allergen-free so that our community would know that we're not just gluten-free, we're certified top allergen-free as well.
No, I can't come with you, okay? I can't rock with you. You telling me by your definition that I'm allergic to Cold Stone and Andy's yogurt custard delight treat. I don't believe you. I just don't. Bro, my custom concrete strawberry. It might not be, but it would have been way better had I not prepped you for it.
Yeah. Cut this
Diary
out.
of a man who bought candy from the candy lady down the street.
I don't even know what that means. Is that code?
I mean, again, every physical body is totally different, but if we get a little bit more scientific, most people, actually all of us, stop producing an enzyme after the age of 2 because, and I'm not sure what your religious beliefs are, but scientifically, and then also from like the Islamic perspective, we stop producing lactose after the age of 2, so which is the age of weaning. So after that, we're not supposed to be consuming any other animal's milk. Like if we're going to be drinking anything for calcium or eating anything for calcium, which I'm sure that's not why you're eating your custard, but if you're going to be doing that, then you should be eating kale, broccoli, spinach. These foods have way more calcium than milk. So, yeah. I'm sure you get a little gas. Look, again, we're family. I'm sure you get a little gas when you eat that stuff. And again, that's a reaction. Your body's telling you it's fermenting in here, and don't put that back in here. I can't digest it.
Let us out.
That's right. Let us out.
All right. So I knew, and that's a real good answer as far as from a health standpoint. But I still don't believe I'm allergic to calcium. And I don't eat my ice cream for calcium anyway. That's not how I go about getting my calcium. You know what I mean?
You said lactose.
Lactose, calcium.
He allergic to the mineral.
It all go in there together. It all go together. So we talk about health benefits. Are there any actual health benefits from eating your product?
Well, I mean, we have to be honest. Anything that has any sugar in it is not going to be healthy. That's just honest, right? We do use a healthier sugar. We use evaporated cane sugar, organic evaporated cane sugar that is vegan. And I make that point because sugar is traditional sugar that's not organic, is processed with bone char. So again, vegan sugar, which is organic sugar, is not processed that way. This is 2022, and I think it's disgusting that that is actually still a thing. But whatever. If I wanted animals on my sugar.
I got one question.
Yes.
Bone char?
Yeah. You can Google that, like, to see how they process sugar. So again, if it's not organic sugar, then I would, if you're not trying to intentionally eat animals in your sugar, then I would get something else. But I'm sorry, it was a question and I just went off on something else. What was your question again? I'm sorry.
Basically, my question was, what are the actual...
The health benefits. Yeah, so we use sorghum flour, which is a traditional ancient grain, and that doesn't cause any inflammation in the body. And that's what we use instead of wheat flour. So that's one good thing. But again, we do use sugar. So it's not something that I encourage people to eat on a daily basis. These are celebratory things, for every once in a while type thing. So again, it is still sugar. So, but it's healthier version. So with the organic sugar, it still has the molasses in it. So it has a slight brown tint to it versus like purely refined sugar, which is super white. And so everything's been stripped from that sugar. But with our sugar, again, evaporated cane sugar, vegan, it still has some molasses. So you still do get some of the nutrients from that, even though it's sugar.
All right, I hear you, Noob. She just made ice cream bad and sugar bad. And
I mean, you're eating like... Okay.
No, don't clean it up now. Pete, go ahead on.
So what?
It's cow secretions. It's cow secretions. I mean, it really is. Yeah, it is.
That's the first time on this show anybody has mentioned secretions.
Yes, for real.
It is.
So what's in the name Pink Bakery? Why Pink Bakery? I know you got a trademark and everything. Yeah, so
that's right. That's right. So again, because I had that graphic design background, I wanted the name to be something that was marketable and something that would be memorable and something that would, for the person who had food allergies, spark some sort of joyful or happy feeling. Because when you have food allergies, it's not like it can be a very sad existence. You're excluded all the time and you're isolated, right? And so I wanted it to invoke something positive and cheery. And so some of the colors that I thought about was like yellow and pink. And when I looked at what pink meant in color theory, it meant love. And so I put a lot of love into my mixes And so instead of me calling it the Love Bakery, I called it the Pink Bakery. And the URL was available. That's how I knew that was a sign that that was going to be the name. And so I secured it. I secured it. I don't know if you can hear that. I secured it. And so then that was the.
Don't worry about that thunder. That thunder is just God reminding you that you did the right thing, girl. You're okay.
There you go.
So just a quick question. This is off the subject. You chose to go to TSU. Did you not get your acceptance letter to KSU on time? You know, what's going on, you know? So, because my school was a real HBCU. So can you explain why you chose to go the blue route versus the green and gold?
I didn't even know about your school. So
Eating the brownie.
I just, you know, I went with where God told me to go, where my heart led me. I had never even heard about your school.
Amen. Won't he do it?
Sorry.
Nah, that's what God don't like ugly.
I have no further questions.
He
It's all
rests his
love,
case.
though. It's all love.
These brownies are all love, believe me.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it, G man. That brownie look good too. No frownies.
No frownies.
No frownies. Well, we're gonna get into this probably the supply chain question. Scott, go ahead with that. You got the supply chain question?
Well, the main thing is shelf life, you know, because you do have or lack a lot of ingredients. Is there a shorter shelf life with your products?
So with our mixes, they have a 9-month shelf life. When we were getting them tested, the biggest thing was all about the packaging. And what I mean by that is you have to account for water activity and the oxygen transfer rate. And so because we don't have any water activity in our product, we don't have to worry about mold or any other bacteria that can form. The great thing about, as you guys have seen, there's 2 packages. So one sits inside of a box. We did that intentionally because if it sits on a ship, let's say for 3 months, right? And the temperature goes above 70 degrees, because again, we tested all this stuff. There could be a chance that there could be some type of condensation, you know, or some water that could form somewhere on the ship somewhere. And so again, the barrier that we have with our packet, with our inside package, is that it makes sure that, again, water doesn't get in, and you know, make sure that we don't have any type of mold that could grow because there's no water activity. So a lot of products, again, that are mixed based, I would think they'd probably be around that same type of shelf life. When we baked our actual products, they had a very short shelf life because water activity was present. And of course, mold could absolutely grow. What was really cool about our stuff, though, was even though we did have water in, like, let's say, like our baked brownie, we still didn't have any mold that was growing after, let's say, 14 days. And so I thought that was pretty cool because, again, we don't have any preservatives in our food. But yeah, so to answer your question, I think, again, most mixes are probably around that shelf life. We were really told our product is good indefinitely, but the lab said to just say 9 months. So
You attend a lot of trade shows with your stuff? The conferences
again,
and stuff like that?
Yeah, prior to COVID, we would do some of that stuff. We got really busy because, again, we were baking, and now that we're behind COVID, we just started to kind of try to venture off into that. A part of our business plan, though, like, we're targeting like a certain demographic, like a certain market, and so now it's just trying to see where some of those people are. So as an example, institutions is one of our markets, right? So we have a partnership with Marquette University. They have a dedicated allergen-free dining hall. And so they purchase our mixes and they bake for the students that have food allergies. And so our goal is to be in every university that has a dedicated dining hall, that we're the ones that are providing that. So it's finding where those representatives, you know, what trade shows those representatives hang out at or are going to be at, and then for us to position ourselves where they can see us, you know, at those types of places. But we did something called Vegan Day, which was awesome just this past weekend in Chicago. It was like 18,000 vegans, you know, or people that say that they're vegan or have an interest in becoming vegan, or, you know, just wanted to come and see what was going on in Chicago. And so we participated in that, and we were well received. And that was our first time too, being at something like that, again, since past COVID. So, but we want to go to like the Specialty Foods Association, like the fancy food shows, like stuff like that. And then like Expo West, you know, things of that nature. But yeah, you know, I'm still down to go to like Vegan Fest or like anything Black, you know, like, you know, any type of Black festivals, you know, stuff like that.
So Nubian, I've really enjoyed this conversation. You had me rethinking my addiction to milk and cheese and all things dairy. And my kids don't have like food allergies, but maybe they do, because they do have other environmental allergies. So I really enjoyed baking with them, and your products, you know, were very tasty. But what's next for the Pink Bakery? I mean, are there any future products out there that we should be, you know, aware of? Or, you know, we know you have the cupcakes and the flour and the brownies, of course, and the cookie, but is there a space that you're thinking about expanding it into bakery wise, or other allergy-free products for the Pink Bakery?
Yeah, so because you can hear me okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're coming out of COVID, and when I used to actually bake for people, I'm transferring all my recipes over into baking mixes. So things that are going to come out soon will be, we have a pancake and waffle mix, we have a biscuit mix, we have a spice cake, we have a chai cake, and we have a pumpkin cake. So those are kind of more like seasonal, you know, type things. But then I also have a mint frosting. So, but once I get all that stuff done, the thing that I want to focus on solely, and I'm probably just going to try to lock myself away somewhere for like maybe 2 or 3 months, is bread, because I miss bread so much. The biscuits are great, which I love them because at least I can make like a little mini sandwich, but I miss toast. So that will be something that is in the future for the Pink Bakery, is us finally tackling bread. I also cannot eat yeast. And so yeast is another, you know, integral part of any type of bread baking. You need to have that yeast. And so me learning how to do that without that, again, that's where my science mind comes in and my engineering mind comes in. But I will complete that too. It will not defeat me. So
Now I need you to put your genius to work, because I also need, if you can do it, a red velvet and a pecan pie.
well, we can't do pecans because pecans are nuts and we're nut free, so we can't do pecans. But I was playing with red velvet. Did you know traditionally red velvet is made with beets? That's what it was originally made with. And so before we got into the artificial colors, because you guys are eating artificial colors with the red dye, which I won't even go into what all that is doing to your nervous system and your endocrine system. I won't even go into that. But but it was traditionally, okay, that won't, traditionally made with beets. And so I did experiment with that, but it's just trying to get that beet taste out, you know, so I got some work to do.
Okay, red velvet. Damn, so pecans can't be on them. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're nut free.
Make a fake nut. You make a fake nut.
I don't
want. So with that one, we're gonna keep it moving. Nubian, first, let me just say thank you for being on the show. That's the heck of a way to end the show. Make a fake nut. Yeah, mute that guy. But but seriously, we're so happy to have you. And to anybody that's interested in trying her products, you can go to her website. You want to tell them your website, Noob?
Yes, it's thepinkbakery.com, THEPINK, just like the color, bakery, BAKERY.com. Can you tell I do that a lot?
Yeah, often, quite often. And I just so love the way that you're a specialty product, and you're starting to grow and branch out, man. Whole Foods, holla at your girl, man. Come see my girl, Trader Joe's. You know what I mean? Let's get her on the shelf.
My goodness.
Scott, let them know, Scott, where they can find us at.
Find us right here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit this like because we did get a lot of great information. And hit that bell for further notifications. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, The Urban Retrospect. Twitter, Retrospect1619. Shoot us an email if you want us to review your product at theurbanretrospect@gmail.com. And catch everything at theurbanretrospect.com. Thank you for reading.
Appreciate it. Scott, you know what we say? We say peace, love, and
Retrospect.
Cue the music.